Hello everyone and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program, Rise of the Dark Fog. Hello? Sir? Where are you? Oh, that's right. And if you remember from the last episode, we were able to eliminate our dark fog threat in our own solar system. So now Edis Pupus is clear and free of any threat whatsoever. That's right. We win. Video game completed. Yes, that's right, Mr. Icarus. You take a bow, sir. But even though we came back as victorious heroes from our battle, we are not winning another front that has been plaguing us for quite some time. Yep, that old power grid. Oh man, we're down to not enough gigawatts again. Our generation is only 2.16. We need to kind of boost that up, but we are making quite a bit of fuel, so it shouldn't be too big of a problem just to add on a few generators here, you know, and make things a lot more sustainable. And while I work on the power grid, we're going to do some research in the background. We're going to go ahead and pick up anything that we can now pick up with our current science as it is. There's a lot of these upgrades that we don't have or didn't get, so I'm going to go ahead and just upgrade the mech as much as I possibly can and just see where it takes us. I don't know. I mean, more vein utilization would be nice. Better logistic carrier engines? I think so. Better distribution range? Yes, please, sir. So while all that ticks away in the background, we'll just go ahead and extend this power out as far as we can, trying to maximize our space and get as many of these things in this top of the world power station that we have going on here as it is. As you can see, we've depleted the entirety of our battery supply, so hopefully we can get those things charged back up. So with all the power generators in place and a little bit of extending of belts, boom, it's all done. So that's it. Now, power problems solved, and we're not burning up as much as we used to, so no biggie. So what's our next problem? Well, we kind of have a little bit of an issue with the science. You see, we're not really getting any titanium crystals to produce our yellow science, and why is that? Well, that's because we're not producing enough of the organic crystals. Why are we not doing that, you say? Well, that's because we're not getting enough plastic. Again, why are we not getting enough plastic? Well, that's because we're not getting enough refined oil. Yes, our same problem that we've had for a while now. And if we try to glean as much information as we possibly can from our production statistics panel here, you'll see that we're producing 121 a minute and only consuming 120 at most sometimes. But according to our peaks and valleys, I think we're doing a little worse than that. So here comes the big project. That's moving the refineries and getting them all the way they should be. So what does that entail? Well, it means that we're going to get rid of all of this monstrosity that we have going on here currently and redesign it and make it a lot better. Centralize it, make it prettier and more efficient. Perhaps we'll even get even more fuel out of it. Who knows? The skies are limitless. Now that we have no real threat, we can just take our time with this stuff. So what is my solution for the oil crisis? Well, that's pretty easy. We'll just go through here and eliminate all of the refineries that we have set up next to these fuel locations. And then we'll just redirect said oil to a local logistics tower, whichever one we might be able to find near it. And then we'll just have it store all the oil and have it set to supply. And once it's supplied, it should be pretty good. I'm just realizing that we don't have any iron here. Oh my goodness. We have just depleted our first vein. Oh, poor vein. It was an early one. It made lots of parts. It probably made you. So we'll come up here and in this kind of big open space that we have here, I think we could set up quite a few of the refinery stations here. And if we have to, we'll go over into this section as well. But like I said, I've been saving this for a special project that I have no idea how much space it's going to take, but I kind of wanted to save that space if we can manage it. So the idea is pretty simple. We'll come up here as close to the top of the world as we possibly can without kind of interfering with anything else. And we'll throw down a, I don't know, logistics tower. So the idea is pretty simple. We'll just set a logistics tower here and then have it feed in all the oil down one side. And we'll do all these vertically because just like the chemical, it works a little better when you do vertical. And then on the inside here, we'll have all of our fuel and hydrogen getting spit out on one side. And then on this side, we'll do the same thing again. Have all the fuel come down, hydrogen goes up, and the fuel goes up. And then we'll just repeat this process as many times one direction as we possibly can, trying to maximize as many of these as we possibly can. I have a feeling we're going to need at least 3 of them, so we'll kind of have an idea of what we're doing. And then we'll leave some room for some belt wiggling. You know, just in case we need to do some weird shenanigans. And then, a very long time later, we're done. Yeah, there's a few problems that we had. Forgot to hook up a few hydrogen lines, but that's pretty easy and simple fix. I may am having to burn off a little bit of hydrogen because obviously we're not burning through it as much as we need to. And I even tried out the alternate recipe for this. Technically, you put in 2 fuel and you get out 3. So that's not bad. It just took a little while for this thing to kind of kick off, as we needed fuel to start the fuel process, and yeah, it was a whole song and dance. And now with our fuel situation somewhat handled, I mean, I won't say it's fixed, it's just handled for the time right now. I think it's time to get a handle on some other situations that we have, because as you can see, we're just not producing enough of the science as it is. There's a few of these guys that are turning on and off quite often, and I don't really like that. So the same goes with the other stuff. They do tend to not get their items as fast as I would like, and I've kind of skirted things off to supplement that production that we have here. So I think it's time to stop doing that, and I think it's time to take everything down. I think we should just have logistics towers bringing over materials for our science. I think that would be the best thing. I know it's kind of a redesign of a redesign of a redesign. I think it would look so much more cleaner to just have this space. I mean, there's so many things we could do, so many activities that could be had. And boom, just like that, a couple logistics towers and more supplies than they could ever need. And that gives us so much more room for activities. Oh, look at all this space. I love it. I love having space to fill with factories. So what's next? Well, back here at home base, I think it's time to be done with home base. This thing has taken up a lot of space, and a lot of these items we have on the main bus. There's no reason to do half of the things that we do on it. I mean, I got rid of all of the smelters because they were just not needed anymore. We have all these logistics towers that can bring everything we could possibly ever want to this area. But at the same time, we just need to get rid of this. This is an old, antiquated way of doing things. And with logistics towers and, you know, lots of real estate that we have, I've got an idea. So it's an idea I had when we first got our logistics towers. And it's not a simple thing, but it's not complicated either. Let me give you an example. Okay, so it's not very complicated. Like I said, basically, our logistics towers can be, you know, our supply. So let's say we want 3 different items to come out of this one, and we'll ask those to demand each one of those. And then we'll have it go into a splitter where it'll split it on top. And then if we need one of said items to produce, I don't know, let's just say circuit boards, then we would go over to the one that has the copper and shirk off a little bit and go this way. Now, how would we shirk it off? Well, that's pretty easy. We just eliminate that, pop in one of these splitters, and then feed it right into the machine, just like that. And we'll repeat that process, because then this line can go back into the splitter and continue on down the line and feed the next machine that needs copper or iron or magnetic coils or whatever. You know, all the different items that we need so far. And then you just have a whole line of assemblers here with some storage in the back, and it takes up a lot less space. It actually will probably take up a lot of space, but you know, whatever, it'll work. This will just take an immense amount of time, and I've really been putting it off because I didn't want to do it because I knew it would take forever, and yeah, it will take forever. But what's the first thing we gotta do? Well, it's get rid of all this stuff. Oh boy. Yep, that's right. We're just gonna mass dismantle everything. But again, thanks to the comments, I have learned that these Battlefield guys, they're the cat's pajamas when it comes to picking up all this stuff. So as long as it's powered and we don't kind of eliminate our power, we'll be fine as far as just deleting everything. And then I'll probably throw it all into some boxes and we'll just try to use as much of this stuff as we possibly can. Some of these items, like the engines and the thrusters, we don't really need those anymore. But, you know, the splitters and the crates and all the other things that we have currently, most of those we need. So, what do? Well, say goodbye, old friend. This is the end of life, and you are all going to disappear into the background of space. Yeah, even this stuff over here, it's still super satisfying, even if this thing is picking it up. So with the initial space cleared out here, all we have to do now is just lay out the belt design as we want it. So I think we'll just go like this, and then we'll have to skip every so often and go probably about, I think it's here, and come across and put another belt on. And then just repeat that process ad nauseum. But we have a quick way of doing that. Yes, blueprints. Oh, blueprints to save the day. We love our blueprints. So we'll just copy paste this as many times as we can. And again, kind of here, we'll have to maybe put one in on our own. I don't know. And we can adjust the lines as we see fit. So I'm just kind of putting them down as placeholders for now to give myself an idea of where it is that we're going to take all this. And I know that some of them are overlapping, but that's not going to be too big of a problem. We can make this work. So as long as we just keep putting all this down and get it all kind of where we want it, we can just keep adding on to said blueprints. Easy peasy, right? Plenty of space. I'm pretty sure that this will keep the drones busy for a while. And the first thing we'll probably have to get cooking is the belts, as we're definitely going to need a lot of those. So we'll probably have that as the first thing on the line, followed by probably the sorters. And then after that, I don't know. It really wouldn't matter. I don't have any particular order that I want these things in. I just want them much easier. All right, and there we go. We've got the first few things on the bus. We've got our sorters, we've got our belts, and we even did some manufacturers because I knew I would probably run out of those eventually. So now I just kind of went through and just made a basic idea of what I want everything and where it is and all the items that we need. And kind of had a revelation. We needed more space. There's about 30 items in particular that I need to do every piece of this that I want. So that kind of ran into a problem as we got closer and closer to this end, and we had about, I don't know, 20 items. So I had to move all the refineries that we just put in to clean up this space. I knew that this was going to be needed. It's why I was trying to save this space for as long as I possibly could. I needed to be able to get all of our items on our bus line made. So, what did we do with all those refineries? Well, I'm glad you asked. I put them in 3 different locations because there wasn't another space that I had that was big enough to handle all of them. So I've got one right here, and then there's another one not too far from it, to be honest. And then the third one, well, it's right next to it as well. Yeah. But then I ran into another problem. I realized that we hadn't even automated any kind of sorters or belts whatsoever. So I came up here to the top of the world and I made a mini factory for all those things. So now we're making the level 1s, and the level 1s go into the level 2s so that they can make the Mark 3s. And they get sent off down to our main area now. The same thing happened here. I made a bunch of level 1 belts, and they go into the level 2 belts, and then they go down to the Mark 3s and they get made. Yeah, there's a few things that we've been doing in the background that it's a little bit monotonous, but overall, we're just getting things set up for the kill. So that way, in the future, we don't even have to worry about it. And you might ask, well, don't these take the level 1s as well? Yeah, they do. So we had to make a manufacturing of that as well. Now, I do know that there is a Mark III of the assemblers, and the thing is about this kind of system that kind of was why I wanted to do it this way, it'd be real easy to swap things out. All I have to do is just turn this to the Mark III, and it'll start making it. And then I just add the materials at once from our bus line here, and done. Easy peasy. So let's do one real quick. let's go ahead and get this power towers all set up. So we come over to the logistics tower here, and we already see that we have the magnetic coils just kind of sitting here. So we'll demand a few of them, and then we'll tell it to come out this line, and it'll fill up the line. The other thing that we needed, well, we needed some iron. Well, I'm sure we'll need that in the future as well, so we'll just demand a little bit of that and have it come out this line. So now with our belts completely saturated, all we have to do is just cut a little section in each one of them, grab this guy right here, kind of halfway line it up with our belt that's going to be there. Put one there, one over, put that there. And then we'll run our belts like so, all the way to it. Just like that. And then we'll just put our belt into here on the top level, of course. And then we come over to our manufacturer, start putting the materials in, and boom, all the power towers we could ever want. Yeah. Easy peasy, just like I said. And then come back to here to make sure that this keeps going on, extend it, and now we have iron and magnetic coils. Now you might notice that there are a few lines that are just missing here. What happened to them? Well, that's an easy explanation. I don't think that we're going to need sorters anywhere else but right here, which is kind of why I wanted to make a lot of these things right off the bat. Now, unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to if we ever upgrade our smelters, but we'll be able to figure that out in the future. Now, for the charging stations, that's a little bit different. We don't really need that many power towers, and it makes them pretty quick. So my idea is to snake a few of them off of here, load this tower up, and then it can have all at once. And we're still going to make a lot. And we don't need very many power towers, so once we get 100 of them, that's more than enough. Plenty of those. I'm gonna continue doing this, and yeah, I'm sure it's gonna take a while because that's a lot of materials and a lot of belting. And oh boy, what have I set myself up to? This is gonna be so much work.
One eternity later.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that didn't take forever at all, but we have it done. Had to do a little bit of belt shenanigans in some places, but overall, we got everything hooked up and feeding as we need it. And we have produced every item that we need to continue our playthrough. Oh my gosh, this took forever. And this is all the materials that I have left over. I probably ought to just throw them in towers and let them go. I mean, windmills, we'll never need those again. The same goes with maybe these power generators. I don't think that we'll probably use those unless we go to another planet and want to take a few dozen, just because I'm pretty sure these geothermals will probably be more handy. Now, I did limit everything in these boxes just because I knew I had so many of certain materials, and nothing's really kicking off right now, which is a good thing. You know, use a lot less power, take a few things where we're going, and I have some backlog of materials behind the towers where they're probably going to go. Oh man, this was quite the endeavor. I am so pleased though that this is over, and we have a really good system here. And if we need to put more on, all we have to do is just add more of these. And to be completely honest, we could go the opposite direction. If we wanted to go up and kind of go into this space, it's there to do it. Now, we'll probably have to move these and do some weird shenanigans here, but that's not a problem. That's an easy fix. Blueprints made that easy. I can't do anything about this though. That's kind of in the way, but it's gotta be there. I tried deleting it and moving it a couple places, but it's gotta be there. There's nothing I can do about that. So, what's next? Well, I think it's time to start working on getting ourselves to a place where we can work on our Dyson Sphere. Now, we're not quite there yet, but I think it's time to work on these EM rail ejectors. Yes, they pop out the solar sails that can fly around our sun and collect us some power, and then they put it into the ray receivers, and they could probably solve a lot of our power problems. Not like we have any right now. They also do some other things on the ray receivers that I don't really kind of know what to do with. So it has two different things where it has a power generation mode and a photon generation mode. I do not know what the photon generation means, but I can't select it. So there must be a science it's locked behind that I just don't know what it is yet. Plus, I don't really know exactly how all this works. Now, we'll probably have to get some solar sails, and it'll probably have to, you know, put its eye out there so it can see whatever it is that it's receiving. But that's not too big a deal. But where are we going to make these? Because I don't really feel like making them here on the home world. So let's gather some supplies and head over to Eatus Pupus 1. So now with ourselves fully supplied, let's see if we can't make some railguns. All right, so now that we're back here on Eatus Pupa 1, I think we're going to go ahead and make... Wait, what? What is that? A hive? I thought we destroyed the hive. What are you doing in my star system, sir? Where did this come from? I'm certain that we destroyed them. I tell you what, we are heavily upgraded, sir. It is time for you to go down. There's no way that you stand a chance. How many drones do you have? 6 Dark Fog drones? Give me a break. Our Meg has gigawatts of power now, and you are going down. That's what I thought. Not in my backyard, buddy. So I truly don't know where it came from. I mean, it's not showing up here at all. So I don't know where they're coming from. Trying to see if there's some kind of main dark hive creator. It got to be coming from somewhere. There's something weird on this star right here. What is that? A seed distance, and it arrives in 20 seconds? Nah, that can't be right. I don't even know. Is it coming to us? I don't even see it moving that fast. 20 seconds, I don't think so. But you know what? We won't worry about it because it's pretty obvious they can't stand a chance against us. So as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, we're just gonna put this stuff right here. We're just gonna make a small manufacturing of it. I won't need too many of those railguns, and a lot of the materials I think we need are on this planet. We'll just make a few extras. So what is it that we're gonna need? Well, to make the railguns, it's pretty much easy. We just need some of those super magnetic rings, golden processors, of course, gears, which I know we have here, and steel. To make the solar sails, though, we need some graphene, which I'm pretty sure we bring to this planet, and those photon combiners. And the photon combiners require some prisms and some circuit boards. Those are lots of things that we currently make on this planet, but we'll make a few extra just to, you know, relieve the stress. And boom, just like that, it's all done. Now, we did extend the glass making just a little bit because, you know, all of this can handle it. Did the same thing with the prisms. We'll probably have to supplement a little bit of that glass in here. We just have it as storage right now, but we could demand it and it could be here in no time. Same thing with the prisms. We have quite a few of them being made, but, you know, we're not making enough, and it's not really too big a deal. We just need enough to get the solar sails up and running. The graphene and everything else, yeah, it's already here. So, as far as the last thing goes, it's these EM railguns, and I'm kind of excited to play around with these guys. I don't even know what to expect. So let's grab a cool chunk of them, and then let's put one down and see what happens. Now these things have quite a range that they can't be in, so I think they're gonna nestle themselves in quite nicely right here next to the solar sails. Okay, so, whoa, okay, what is all this stuff? Edit an orbit, none, selecting on one, I guess. What does that even mean? I think I have to go into the Dyson Sphere and set up an orbit. So add an orbit. Oh boy, no, I don't want, oh gosh, nope, not that either. Okay, so what's our maximum size that we can do? 23,200? All right, well, what's half of that? Well, that would be like 16,100, right? We'll just go half an orbit size for now. As far as the other stuff, okay, we'll put it to 0, I guess. And we'll just make this one flat. It'll be a nice flat round sphere. And I think we can add another, right? So what we can do is kind of, I don't know, design like a tiny atomic symbol. That would actually be kind of cool. Put another orbit that goes across here and another one there. Yeah, 45 and 135, I think. I don't know what it would be. But for now, we'll just focus on number 1. That seems like the right thing to do. So how do we get these solar sails in here? Do they go directly into it? Can I just pop in there? No, so it has to be inserted with a sorter? Yes, okay. Well, actually, that'll be really easy. We could just pop it out of here and come down across like so, and then go right into there. And then I'm sure it's gonna need some power. Too close, huh? Oh boy, I think power is gonna kind of be the issue here. Nope, it's not. And, oh my goodness, it's, oh, boom. Okay, we did it. Oh, okay. Whoa, we got things going on here. I want to see this. Where's it at? Where's my sun? There's my sun. Pew! All right, it shot it way over there. So what is this? Ray receiver. You have activated the first ray receiver, solving the receipt of energy transmitted from the Dyson Sphere. Its appearance has taken solar energy used to a brand new stage. Very cool. Ray receiver. I love it. That's fantastic. I want to go check these solar sails out. I mean, we're shooting them into space. They got to be visible, right? You got to be able to get close to this thing and see them. Man, there they are. Oh man, cool. So they're just floating around the sun, huh? Doing their sun thing, soaking up some rays. It's like they live on the beach now. How close can we get to these things? Not very good at flying, as you can see. Oh wow, we can get right up next to him. That's super cool. So now they're just there, huh? Soaking up the rays from the sun. I love it. It's too bad it doesn't charge my mech when I'm this close to it. Well, let's head back and see if we can set up a few more of these things. I mean, I don't know how many it's going to consume and all that stuff, but we could probably try to set up, I don't know, a few dozen more at least. So I almost did a full circle. I mean, we're back here to the solar sails, and this thing is shooting tons of them. And I mean, tons of them. It is super cool, super cool. I think we're really starting to get a ring around our star. So we should be receiving quite a bit of power from these things, I think? I don't know, but we'd have to head back home to find that out. Man, that's a real cool sight coming back home. Now you see all the solar sails hovering around. Oh man, that's wicked neat. Oh wow, as soon as I got back, yeah, this thing is working really good. Okay, so it's already on and it's doing power generation. So it's requesting the power, which is not the full potential. So as we shoot more solar sails, we're getting more and more power from our Dyson Sphere or our solar sails. We're already past 100 megawatts. Wow. Okay. So these things can take in 25 megawatts, and it still seems like it might be going up. I guess as it continuously receives, the power is going up as far as the power draw. So there's no real maximum potential for these things. That's pretty cool. But what's the photon generation? In photon mode, the ray receiver acquires energy at very high power levels and stores it directly into a critical photons. So how do we make critical photons? And what would be the point of making critical photons? Oh, to make this as guess. So this is a mass energy storage. Under the influence of an intense magnetic field, critical photons can be converted into antimatter and hydrogen. Antimatter? Holy cow. Yes, sir. Please, can we have that? All right. And then what is this? Controlled annihilation reaction, which make antimatter fuel rods, which are fed into artificial suns. I'll take that, and I'll take you as well. Thank you. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll just utilize this tower here, as it's really not doing too much, and we'll make a bunch of photon generation right through here to try to get that antimatter, to get those antimatter fuel rods. I can only imagine how much power that's gonna be. Okay, so first things first, we gotta discover about these things. There's only two places for it to go in and out. So does it go in it? It does go in it, and it comes out of it. Okay, so with that knowledge, we'll probably have one line coming back around here and in like so. And then we can just put those right in like that, or something to that effect. And then since I think we could put the graviton lenses in here and get more power generation or more photons, what we'll probably do is stick a splitter at the end of this and run 2 on each side and get, I don't know, a whole bunch, as many as we can fit in this space. Now, the question that I do have is, does it actually follow, like everything else, the sun? If so, then we'll probably have a little bit of space that we're not going to have anything coming through here. So, all right, let me set up a whole bunch of these. Okay, so we made a few of them, and some of them are just getting started, getting kicked off. I mean, it takes it a while to charge up enough to make a photon. So yeah, I think when they have like this kind of, graphic on them, it seems like they're collecting more photons than anyone else. But there is some few numbers on here, and yeah, I don't think that that I'm getting enough power from my Dyson Sphere, but that's not that important, because as you can see, I added a few more orbits of solar sails, and I really like it. It looks cool. It looks wicked cool. I think we're up to like 3 to 4 orbits. I think it's great. And so with all of that being made, I think it's time to just pick a spot and make a small little antimatter, manufacturing. So I'm gonna just put it right here, and I think I'll put like a couple logistics towers to bring in some materials that we might need. And then we'll need a particle collider to do the next phase. And as this is all just temporary, I think I'll just slap one in like so. And then we'll have some manufacturers across here, some others like there, and then we'll do the antimatter there, and then probably put it all into one container, one big container. I don't know how much of this we'll probably make, but this will be kind of the basic setup. And boom, just like that. Easy peasy. Simple setup, easy to manufacture. So we have quite a few things that we needed to get over here. Some golden processors, of course, and the particle containers. But those make the annihilation constraint sphere. Well, that sounds dangerous, but we'll just, we'll keep our distance. And then one particle collider makes enough of the antimatter and hydrogen that we need to make the antimatter fuel rods, because it takes 12 of both of those, and we're making quite a bit of that. So the last thing I need to load into this thing is just the titanium alloy. So if we pop that in like so, and bring that out like so, we'll probably get our first antimatter fuel rods in no time. And boom, just like I said, antimatter fuel rods. Oh, right. Now, we need to put those into some artificial suns. So I handcrafted a few of them, and I'm just gonna lay down 4 for right now. I've got them set up for their sorters and everything of that nature. We'll just throw down a few power poles just to make sure that all the sorters are good. And everything should be ready to rock. Boom! Look at those stars. We made stars. Oh my gosh. Artificial stars. You've learned to control the Dyson Sphere with its incredible power of 1.2 gigawatts. Make its energy into antimatter fuel rods and activate the first artificial star, rotating eloquently and burning fiercely like the sun. It steadily transmits the massive energy in antimatter to the power grid. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Oh, that's so cool. Oh man, I wonder what kind of bump in power we got. Holy cow, look at that. What a jump. That is incredible. These are going to be so handy. And does it burn through it fast? Actually, no, it doesn't. So we should be able to handle just running these stars.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand.
Oh, the power of a star in the palm of my hand. That's right. Dude, that's so cool. That is so cool. So I think that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed the episode and got something out of it. If you did, hit the like button to show that you did get some value out of the content. If you want to join the Discord, you can. It is free and the link will be down in the description below. Other ways to join the community is to join us in a Patreon where you can get your name at the end of the credits. But as always, the best way to support is to like and subscribe, as it does help the channel out. Hit the notification bell so you could be alerted of any time any Dyson Sphere or any other content gets uploaded to the page. Hit one of the buttons at the end of the screen to see what else we've played, and don't forget to keep gaming for the love of games. Bye now.